funeral is about to begin, sir.
I think we just picked up Dracula. It's got a death curse.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Welcome back to another episode of Never Not Horror. I am Steve Clark.
And I am Rich Hansel.
We are back today with episode 8 of our deep dive movie reviews. If you are new to the show, we break these down in 4 sections. We open up with our history with whichever movie we are covering. Rich and I take turns every other week picking a new movie. Then we get into background information, cast, crew info, fun fact kind of things, talk about the making of the movie a little bit. And then we will go into a full plot walkthrough with spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, then that is where you are going to want to take a time out, go watch the movie, and then come back so we don't spoil it for you. And then at the end, we will give you our official Never Not Howls rating, separately, of course, between Rich and myself. So this is episode 8, and it is my turn to pick this time. So my choice for our movie this episode is going back to 1982, a little movie called Creepshow.
Yeah.
I have a long-time fan of Creepshow 1 and 2. I only recently found out that there is a Creepshow 3, and that it's god-awful, and I've never watched it.
I saw the thumbnail on something. It's available out there on Tubi or something, but yeah, I haven't watched it neither.
I have DirecTV streaming cable, and there is a horror channel on there. It's called Horror by Alter or something like that. Huh. And I always flip over there to see what's on, and they play Creepshow 3 all the time.
Really? The one nobody wants to see.
I don't know why, but I turned it on for a second, and it's like, I don't know. But, so yeah, anyway, Creepshow 1982, this is a collaboration movie between this writer. You may have heard of him a time or two.
Yeah, maybe.
Stephen King. Stephen King.
Yeah.
Stephen King and George Romero, who is basically the creator of the modern zombie, the zombie that everybody knows with Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. So one of my absolute favorite directors, one of my absolute all-time favorite authors. So how can you go wrong? And the source material, what they're doing is very much an homage to the old EC comics, Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, all that. And I love that stuff so much. That is absolutely my jam. So I was, when it was my turn this time around, I was excited to talk about Creepshow. So
awesome pick. I love it.
All right, well, go ahead. What's your history with the movie, Rich?
All right, if you listened last week, you'll know that I had a lot of movies to my fingertips on Laserdisc when my dad brought home a Laserdisc player and about 50 or 60 movies. And like last week, no.
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
The Howling.
We also had Creepshow 1982. So, yeah, it's pretty nostalgic for me. So, he brought this home about 1984. So, that is probably when I saw it for the first time. It was 83 or 84. All the movies, the newest movies that came with that Laserdisc player were 1982. So I'm imagining, you have a theatrical run of 6 months or sometimes up to a year. I'm sure this didn't get a year run.
Yeah, nowadays it's like a month.
Right.
But back in the day, it could be like 6 months to a year.
Right. And then you have to, get it on Laserdisc. So I'm imagining this was a year or two after the theatrical release. So I'm going to say 84 to be safe.
All right.
I can't remember the exact year he came home with that thing, but it was awesome. So that was the first time. And when I saw this, I'm pretty sure it was my first Stephen King movie or adapted movie.
Oh,
I didn't see Carrie. I would have been 9 years old when this came out, so I was a little young to watch Carrie and what was Cujo.
No, not
No,
Cujo.
Cujo
It would
hadn't
have been
come out.
Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining.
Yeah.
The books were all out before that. So
And I'm pretty sure the movies
yeah.
were too.
Yeah, definitely were.
Yeah, but I had never seen those, so this was my first Stephen King adaptation. And this was right around the time when I started reading Stephen King, when I was 9, 10 years old, 11. And I really don't know if I had read one at this point when I saw it. So it was really close. The first Stephen King book I ever read was Pet Sematary.
Uh-huh.
And I believe that came out in
84-ish?
Maybe, yeah.
85, 84, 85, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And that was the first one I read. Now, obviously, I've read a lot. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I pretty much like them all. There's not really a horrible one.
No. I've read probably even more than you have, I would guess.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, he's probably got 60 novels anymore, and I bet I've read 45 or 50 of them.
Wow, yeah.
There's not a lot of his stuff I have not read yet.
Yeah.
And most of the ones I haven't read, I at least started reading when I was young and couldn't get into it or whatever. So
yeah.
But
Just a couple, I guess we can go over that in the facts, but I was going to mention a couple of these stories were published previously, but I guess we'll talk over that during the facts.
We will.
But yeah, that's my introduction to Creepshow. I guess that's it. Yeah, very nostalgic for me because of that. Yep. Getting that when I'm 9 years old and watching this on Laserdisc, pretty awesome.
Yep. All right, for me, so we had a huge home video collection. We had over 100, like where you'd buy the blank VHS tapes and you could record off TV. We had over 100 of those, and they all had 3 movies on them because you could fit 3 movies usually. And then we had, once it got to the time where you could buy the actual VHS with the box art, and it wasn't like ridiculously expensive when the prices came down, then we started getting those. So we had probably 200 of those. But so surprisingly, this isn't one that I remember having. So it was definitely something that I would rent. There was a video store in town, like a local thing. And I remember watching 1 and 2 several times. And when I was younger, I couldn't remember which one went with which movie. You know, it was like I couldn't keep track of what story was on Creepshow 1 or 2.
Yeah, I sometimes have to.
But now
bang my head against the wall to remember.
Right. Yeah. But now as an adult, I know which one is which, and I have it may not be like an original first printing or anything, but I have the actual Creepshow comic book, has the comics of the stories in the movie that they put out.
Yeah.
I still have that. And
that's awesome.
And yeah, like I said, I grew up loving Stephen King, still do. I grew up, Dawn of the Dead's my favorite movie ever. Love zombies, it's my favorite movie, Monster. So a George Romero, Stephen King collaboration was like, sign me up.
Perfect marriage right there.
Those two making a movie inspired by Tales from the Crypt, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always enjoyed watching these. They're fun. They don't take themselves seriously, but it's a good time. So I have fond memories of this movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
All right. On that note, we will go ahead and get in behind the scenes and talk a little bit about the story behind the story with Creepshow.
Do you know the story behind the story?
All right, so like we said, Stephen King, George Romero collaboration. I believe the way it is billed is screenplay by Stephen King, and then the movie's directed by George Romero. Yeah, you got your sort of wraparound story, which is basically just an opening and a closing of the movie, and then you got 5 segments in between. So you got it's an anthology movie. So you got your 5 segments. It opens up with Father's Day. Then you got the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill. Then you got Something to Tide You Over. Then The Crate, and then They're Creeping Up on You are the names of the story. So like you alluded to, 2 of these are based on Stephen King short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordy Verrill, that one was a story called Weeds. And it was not. So I looked into this because when I read that, when I was researching, it said it was in like a limited, or like a, maybe not a limited edition, or maybe it was a limited edition release of Night Shift later on. It got added in because originally it was not in Night Shift, which Night Shift is his first short story collection.
Yeah.
So, but it was published in Cavalier magazine or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have.
Yep. And then The Crate is the other one.
Which Cavalier magazine Weeds was 1976.
Okay.
And then later he did The Crate, and that was published in Gallery magazine in 1979.
I don't remember if that one is included in any of his collections or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't think to write that down and check. But, so yeah, those two are based off previously published stories, and then the other three were written for the movie.
Yeah, actually for this Creepshow movie.
Right. You got a who's who of actors in this thing.
Oh man, there's
so
cameos left and right.
I mean, the ones that I always remember the most that jump out are Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson in the Something That Tied You Over. And I don't know if you know, I don't know, me being the Dawn of the Dead guy that I am, the girl in that segment, Something That Tied You Over, is Galen Ross, who is the girl from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, is it?
She's like her head is in it, which, spoilers, we'll get to that. But that is the lead girl in Dawn of the Dead.
Awesome, yeah.
Yep. And then you've got Adrienne Barbeau. Who else we got? Help me.
Halbrook.
Yep. Ed Harris.
Ed
a very
Harris,
young dancing
Tom
Ed Harris.
Savini's even
Tom
in it.
Savini
Who did
has a
the
cameo.
special effects?
Yeah.
He's in the wraparound.
Yep. He's in the closing segment of the movie.
We have Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
Yes.
Plays in the prologue.
Like the little
And
kid,
the epilogue.
little kid in the beginning and the end of the movie. Yeah. That's actually Stephen King's son and Stephen King himself.
Yeah.
He is basically the lone star of the Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill.
Yeah.
So solid casting. You get to see people in some roles that they don't really do. Like when I think Leslie Nielsen, I think The Naked Gun and slapstick comedy. You're right. So to see him in this kind of a twisted role is fun.
It is absolutely a blast.
And I know he had a widespread career more than just The Naked Gun, but I know him most from that. So it's weird. It's wild to see him in that role.
Yeah.
And a lot of surprise actors in here. People like Ed Harris. He couldn't have been in very much at that point. Like he had to be early in his career.
Yeah, really early. Oh, and what Tom Atkins is in it, and
Tom
he's
Atkins.
not credited in it.
He's the dad, right?
Yeah, he plays
in
the
wraparound.
abusive dad, and he is not credited in the movie at all. So I don't know why not.
He does a good job.
Yeah,
he
he does.
Dad. All right, so what do you have anything on the budget for this?
The budget, I have $8 million in 1982. That's a pretty big
That's
budget.
a hefty budget.
Yeah, in my opinion. And the box office was $21 million. So it made a pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it more than doubled its budget. So
yeah, and
that's good.
It was released November 10th, 1982.
You'd think they'd want to capture on that Halloween market.
That's
push
what
that
I would
up
think.
a month.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. Rotten Tomato scores on this movie are tomato meter of 65%. That's the critic review. And then the fan popcorn meter is 69%. So the fans like it more than the critics, but it's still a respectable. I mean,
I think
upper 60s.
Probably some critics got to stick up their ass, maybe.
Right. I mean, you definitely got to know what you're getting into. I mean, this movie wears its influence on its sleeve for sure. And if you're getting into some goofy...
Yeah, I could see a critic looking at this movie and go, it sure ain't no Jaws.
Right. I know it's not. It's not supposed to be.
Right.
So, all right. Well, you got anything else on background info here you want to hit?
Well, another Stephen King book that got adapted by George Romero was The Dark Half.
It was. You know what? I have never seen that movie.
It's good.
Being the fan I am of both of them, I've read the book and I did enjoy the book, but I have not seen the movie.
It is good. It's about the same as the movie where the guy has the personalities. It's pretty much
like
his pen name guy.
Right, but it becomes like a real thing.
Yeah. It's a pretty good movie. I can't remember who played. I think he was in Wings. No, not Wings. He's a famous actor. I can't remember his name.
Interesting.
It's pretty good. I'd recommend it.
I definitely need to check it out. That's one of the few like novel adaptations of Stephen King's that I've never seen.
Yeah,
And it being by George Romero, like, why the hell haven't I watched it? All right. Well, if we don't have anything else here, we'll go ahead and jump right into the plot walkthrough. So this is your warning, and this movie, I've never prefaced a warning here before, but I would say if there was ever a movie that you were going to listen to without watching the movie, this is probably okay. I mean, you got 5 short stories, and it's goofy, fun horror, so this isn't the Shawshank Redemption, so
right.
I highly, highly recommend you watch it, but you're probably okay to listen to this one without watching.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll give you the gist of it.
Yeah.
So. But that said, if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back, and we will get into 1982's Creepshow.
Come along now, if you're not too scared.
All right, here we go. 1982 Creepshow opens up with a night scene with some thunder and lightning, and you hear a dad yelling at his son.
Yeah, he's running him down the road.
Yeah, he's letting him have it. And it's all about these crap horror comics he's been reading. So we see he's got a copy of a comic magazine called Creepshow. Looks very much like a Tales from the Crypt magazine. And the dad is just going off on him about reading this kind of garbage. And the son is like telling him it's not garbage, begging him not to throw it away or whatever, not to take it. And son gets a little mouthy, and the dad slaps the fire right out of him.
Did you catch what he said? He said, it's not as bad as your sex magazines in your underwear drawer.
I missed that.
And he smacks him, and he says, it's not like that. I wasn't snooping. You asked me to look for your cufflinks.
I just watched this the other day, and I don't remember
That's what
that.
He said. It's not as bad as the sex magazines in your underwear drawer.
Yeah.
So he gets smacked in the mouth.
He lights him up. He got handprints on his face. So he fires him up, and then he throws the magazine away, and the son tries some reverse psychology. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't throw it away.
That was really weird.
Yeah. And
this is Joe Hill.
The little kid is the son of Stephen King, Joe Hill, who would grow up to be a fine author in his own right.
Oh, absolutely.
I've read several of his books. So the dad, Tom Adkins, he does throw away the magazine, takes it outside to the garbage can and throws it in the trash can outside, and goes back in the house. And the wife, she was obviously not cool with the aggressiveness of this fight, but she's like, don't you think you were a little hard on him? He says other, but he does say a line that I did quote on here. He's like, he says like, I took care of it, didn't I? And he's like, that's why God made fathers, babe. That's why God made fathers. So we cut back to the kid up in his room, and he's brooding and pissed off, and then a skeleton, a Creepshow skeleton from the cover appears in his window and starts laughing, and little Joe Hill smiling at it, and
he kind of says, "Come with me," and points down to the
right. And that spins us into our first full segment of the show called Father's Day. So, and it's cool the way they do these transitions. They make it look like a comic book.
It's awesome.
It's really cool.
That's
art.
one of the things I love about this movie.
Yeah. They'll show. Well, it'll show like flipping through the comic, like because you'll see the ads
Scanning
for little stuff,
and
then it'll go to the first page of the story, and then whatever that first image of the story is, the first illustration. It zooms in on it, and then it like fades into real video.
Right. It's
awesome. It's
awesome.
really well done. It's cool.
Yeah.
Father's Day, we are introduced to a bunch of rich people. That's what I put on my notes.
In a
rich
big
people,
house.
A big house.
Four people.
Yeah, you got 4 people. And they are talking about their Aunt Bedelia is on her way there. We find out it's Father's Day. So you got Bedelia is on her way, and it cuts back and forth between the group of 4 at the house and then Bedelia driving all crazy. Reminded me of Cruella de Vil a little bit from
she does,
101
yeah.
Dalmatians.
She's got that cigarette going.
Yep. So there's an older woman in the house, Sylvia, and she is Bedelia's sister. And then the other kid, the younger 2, or there's a brother and sister. I guess they're Sylvia's kids.
I thought,
Or
isn't Sylvia, she is the niece, and then Cass is the great niece, because it's great, right? Great Aunt Bedelia.
It might be. And then, so Cass and then her brother Richard, and Cass's boyfriend or husband, Hank. We're not sure exactly what he is. So they are there for Father's Day, and Sylvia fills in the backstory that every year on Father's Day, they do a dinner at the house, and Bedelia comes, and she's like clockwork, 6 o'clock on the dot. She'll be there. She goes to his graveside and sits for a while, and then she'll come in and they'll have dinner. But the story here is that Bedelia supposedly killed her father.
Right.
Because he was a bit of a tyrant. Bedelia was sort of his caregiver. He had had a stroke, and it wasn't that's not an easy thing to deal with, so she was trying to deal with that. And then she met a man who was a safari hunter from the looks of the movie. And it is suggested that her father had him killed in a air quotes hunting accident.
Yeah.
So, and the rumor Sylvia is telling the nieces and nephews here that Bedelia bashed his head in with an ashtray.
Yeah.
So we keep
marble
heavy marble, not just a little plastic thing. Yeah, heavy marble ashtray. So while she's telling the story, we're getting cutscenes of Bedelia driving to the house, and we see flashbacks also of what Bedelia is remembering, and you see this grumpy ass old man. He's just a big, like a baby throwing a tantrum. He's got his cane laying over the arms of the wooden chair, and he's rapping it, and like,
clanking that down.
Right.
And
I want my cake.
He wants his cake. I want my cake, Bedelia.
And so while we're seeing all this flashbacks, and it is of the Father's Day where this did in fact go down, and Bedelia has a flashback of her killing him. She's in there making his cake, she's doing it, and he's just going off, and she's losing her shit, and she's just squeezing a pile of icing all over the cake.
He killed her husband.
Right? Yeah, so she's already had enough of this dude, and her dad is going off about how they're all vultures and they just want his money and blah, blah, blah. She comes in there with, sneaks up in beside him and grabs this marble ashtray, heavy duty off the table, and whacks him right in the head with it and kills him. So she did. So there's no alleged about it. Yeah. Bedelia really did kill him.
Yep. As we know as the viewer, she did it.
Yeah. So she gets to the house and goes out to the cemetery. She's got her bottle of Jim Beam she's plugging on, goes and sits down by his grave, and she's just talking to herself, and you can tell she's messed up from what happened. I mean, she's been through a lot. Lost her love, the safari guy, and then she killed her dad. It's a lot for somebody to process. Right. So, but while she's sitting there talking to herself and drinking her Jim Beam, a zombie hand shoots up out of the ground, and then her corpse dad pulls himself up out.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And he says, "Where's my cake?"
Bedelia.
And then he strangles her to death right by the graveside.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a dance scene.
Oh, man, they're
dance
getting it
party.
Down. Woo.
So we forgot to mention that the boyfriend is Ed Harris. So he's definitely the most famous actor modern of current times. He's the recognizable actor in this, very young at the time.
Yeah.
But he plays Hank, the boyfriend, husband, whatever he is, and him and Cass are getting down, waiting for Bedelia to come back in. Sylvia is a party pooper, tells him to turn the music down. Dinner's being set. They're starting to worry because Bedelia hasn't come in yet, so normally she would have been in by now. So Ed Harris, who is Hank, goes out to smoke, and while he's out there, he wanders over to the graveyard and starts calling for Bedelia. he's never met her, but he knows who she is now, of course, from the stories. She's nowhere to be found, so he keeps wandering around, and he finds the father's gravestone, finds the bottle of Jim Beam laying on the ground. He's like, and it's still like half full. It's like, well, my lucky day, you know, we'll take a chug. And then when he's taking a chug from the bottle, he slips because the ground is loose from where Zombie Dad crawled out.
Yeah.
And he falls into the loose dirt. And so he's laying basically like where the casket would be, like with the stone behind
so
him.
There's a shallow grave, pretty much.
Yep. And then as he's sitting there, the big stone on top of the setting thing starts inching forward, just sliding forward on him, and he's frozen in fear. And he reaches he's like kind of reaching around, and he grabs what ends up being Bedelia's arm and pulls it up and finds Bedelia's body laying there. And then he looks up, and Zombie Dad is at the end of the grave and standing there and says, "Where's my cake?" And then the stone falls off of the foundation and smashes him
right in the head.
Right, which
it gives a good sound
if
effect.
you want to be contrary, he had a shit ton of time to move, and he never did. Frozen in fear, I guess.
You know
say.
why he didn't?
Why?
It was in the script.
Ah, of course.
Fell for that one.
Son of a gun. All right, so now we're back inside, and now Cass is worried because Hank hasn't come back. And so Sylvia says she'll go get him, and she's on her way through the house, and then she finds some footprints in the kitchen, like mud, it looks like. Mrs. Danvers is the cook, maid, lady, and so she's calling for her because the kitchen is all dark, and then it's one of those swinging kitchen doors with a circle window in it.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a submarine.
Yeah. And then Mrs. Danvers falls into the back of the door, and she's dead. And then Sylvia turns around and runs, and she runs right into Zombie Dad, and he spins her head right around backwards.
Yeah, breaks her neck.
Right. Yep. So now we're back to Cass and her brother Richard, and Cass is begging Richard to go. Look, he doesn't give a shit. He's a kind of a go with the flow guy. He just wants to get another bottle of wine.
Yeah.
But he finally breaks, so they go together, and they're going through the house to try to find Hank or Sylvia. And then Zombie Dad appears in that swinging double door, and he's got a platter with Sylvia's head on it with icing and candles, and he says, "I got my cake."
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Happy Father's Day.
And you gotta hear the voice.
Yeah.
So when you're watching this, remember that voice. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yep, and that's it. That's Father's Day. So that's why you get little short stories here. So at the end of each one, it cuts. It doesn't go back to the kid and stuff until the very end. So it just cuts back to the comic, and you're animated again, and you see more ads and pages flipping, and then we get to the title page of segment number 2, which is the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill, and this one is the one starring Mr. Stephen King himself.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one other actor in it, but
the guy that plays the doctor,
right? Which is we'll get to it. So we see this country bumpkin dude outside his little cabin shack thing, and he's looking up at the sky, and a meteor crashes into his land right by his house. Just a small little rock thing. So he goes over and checks it out, starts poking at it and stuff. He actually touches it. He pokes at it first, and then he touches it with his finger, and it burns the shit out of him because it was a space rock that just fell out of the sky.
Naturally sticks him right in his mouth, his fingers.
Yeah, like sucking, trying to cool his fingers down. And then he starts daydreaming about like how much money he'd get if he took this over to the college, local community college. So he cuts to like a little fantasy daydream thing where he's at the Department of Meteors. And he imagines talking to this guy at the department about how much he wants to buy this meteor for, and he offers him $50, and he's like, "I won't take any less than $200." Yeah. And
so Jordy's gonna be rich
right.
in his eyes.
And then so now he thinks he's got a money ticket here, so he says, "I got to cool this sumbitch off." So he goes and gets water from the well and dumps it on it, and it splits in half.
Breaks.
Yeah. And I wrote several quotes from Jordy down because they're funny shit. But while he's filling up the water bucket, he looks at his fingers, and there's already blisters and boils and stuff on it from where he touched that thing already. So he goes back and dumps the water, and that meteor just splits in half. And he says, "You've done it now, Jordy Verrill, you lunkhead." And another one, at the same time, he says, "Verrill luck is always in, and you spell that kind of luck B-A-D." Stephen King does such a good job of playing this guy.
This simpleton guy, man.
So there's this like blue liquid stuff inside where it cracks open, and he jumps it out onto the hole where the meteor stuff, and he gets some more of that on his hand, and he says, "Meteor shit." Yeah. So he thinks he's gonna maybe try to glue it back together in the morning. Well, because he daydreams about the Department of Meteors.
Yeah.
And now that he's got this broken meteor, they laugh him out of the office.
So now he's questioning.
So he thinks
he's going to glue it together.
Right, he's going to try to glue it together.
He better glue it together. He's not.
And he
getting
keeps
the money
on sucking on his fingers where he burn them. So he goes inside, and he sits down and watches some wrestling.
Yes, and the wrestling fan knows what this is. This is Sika the Samoan, and he's facing Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund,
the heavyweight champion at the time.
Yes, sir. So he's watching wrestling, big time wrestling they call it.
Yeah,
and drinking some beer, and he just keeps on sucking on his fingers. And we cut to outside, and you can see these weird weeds are starting to grow all over the place, real bright green. And then at some point he looks down and realizes that his fingers are starting to turn green and moldy.
Yeah,
looking.
It's pretty good special effects, really.
Yeah, and he starts to daydream about going to the doctor. He goes to grab the phone to call the doctor, and then he daydreams about going there, and they have to amputate his fingers. So he decides not to call the doctor.
Bad idea. I don't want to lose my fingers.
But at that same time, he goes to the bathroom and realizes that, he goes to suck his fingers again, and then he stops and he runs to the bathroom, and those weeds that have spread to his tongue where he's stuck his fingers in his mouth.
Fingers, yeah.
All right, so now it cuts. We get a little bit of a time lapse, and we see more weeds that are just growing over everything. They're spreading all over him. And I wrote a quote down from him because he says, "Don't it itch? That's Verrill luck, all right. Always in and always bad." So he goes in the kitchen and he mixes up a big pitcher of screwdriver. A pitcher of orange juice, and he dumps some Pop-All vodka in there. And he pounds this thing out of the pitcher, and he says, "I needed that." And then another one, I was just throwing the hiss. He's like, "I'm growing," when he looks at the weeds growing on him. So now we cut to the whole outside again, and everything is just completely overrun with these weeds. It's everywhere. And he had fallen asleep, and he wakes up, and now he's got a full beard of weeds growing out of his face. I thought he kind of looked like the Wolfman, the way it's made. Like he's got big tufts of weeds on his back of his hands and his beard. And he panics when he sees himself, so he goes and turns on the bath water. He's going to jump in the bath, and he starts taking all his clothes off, and he looks down, and he's like, "Not there."
He even got it on his nuts.
Yep. So when he's getting ready to do this, he has a vision and sees his dead dad in the mirror, who is also the same guy that plays the doctor and the Department of the Meteor guy. And the doctor, or his dad in the mirror, tells him not to get in the tub because that's what the water is what it wants. But he says he's a goner already, so he just go ahead and does it. So he jumps in and he feels better. And then we cut away. We see the inside of the house has completely taken over by weeds everywhere. And you find Jordy in the bathtub, and he's covered. You can't see him anymore. He's head to toe covered in this moss weed stuff. And then he reaches over and finds a shotgun over in the corner. And he says, "Please, God, let my luck be in just this once." And then he blows his brains out.
Yep.
And then you see the TV news forecast, weather forecast, and it says calling for lots of rain next month and plenty of sunshine. And then you just see like some still shots of outside and then the road, and these weeds are spreading well beyond his house, and so all this rain is going to keep it moving. So,
Yep.
And that's the end of segment number 2, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill.
Yeah, very good segment. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now we cut to segment number 3. And this one is called Something to Tide You Over. This is probably the most star-studded of the... it's 3 people total, but they're all familiar faces. So you got Wadsworth, who is played by Ted Danson. You see this guy in his apartment or whatever, and he wakes up, he's woken up by a guy named Richard, who is Leslie Nielsen, at his door, yelling, banging on the door, telling him to wake up. And he gets up and goes to the door, and he tells him that something nasty will happen to Rebecca. So we learn here, the setup here is that Rebecca is Wadsworth. Man, I feel like I'm confusing. Which one's Wadsworth and which one's Richard?
Richard is Leslie Nielsen.
Okay. All right. So
and Wadsworth is Harry.
Right. We do get his first name later. He calls him Wadsworth in the beginning, but okay. So Richard and Rebecca are married, but we learn that Rebecca has cheated on Richard with Harry.
Yes.
And Richard knows this. So Richard has come to kind of settle the score with Harry for sleeping with his wife. And he plays this recording, and it's the voice of Rebecca saying that he's got me and please come. So Harry agrees to go with him because he doesn't know what's going on, and he wants to make sure that Rebecca's okay. So you see him driving on a road near the shore, like by a beach, and they pull onto the beach. They're driving in a Jeep, and they pull down to the water. And they get out down to the beach, and Richard shows Harry a shovel on the beach and a pile of sand, and suggests it could be a burial mound. So he goes running over there, but it's not. It's just a big hole. And Richard pulls a gun on Harry and tells him to jump into the hole or he'll shoot him. So he gets in the hole, and he tells him to pull the sand into the hole and bury himself in it. And then he'll show him Rebecca. So he buries himself all the way up to the neck.
Yeah.
So all he's got is his head sticking out on the beach. We see Richard has left, and then he comes driving back, and he's got like a big spool of cable so he can hook a TV up on the beach.
All the way from his house.
All the way from his beach house.
To this hole in the sand.
Yeah. So he comes out here, hooks the TV up, and shows him this video, and we see that Rebecca, is buried in the sand just like Harry, up to her head, and the tide is coming in and just running into her face, and then it pulls out. He tells him that she is further down the beach. Like the tide is coming in a little sooner.
She's catching the high tide sooner than they are down there.
And he's gonna leave them both to drown this horrible death.
Tells her they can hold her breath and she may make it.
Yeah.
So every time the tide comes up, it just rips through her, and she got to hold her breath, and the tide goes out, and she can scream again, and then the tide comes back. It's
terrible.
Awful.
That's terrible.
Awful.
Yeah. And the same fate is gonna come on Harry here. So, and Richard drives away, so he leaves the TV there, leaves it running, and tells him that he leaves it there for him to watch.
Yeah.
And her drown until the tide comes and takes him too. And then the waves short out the TV. So she's still alive when the TV shorts out, but he knows what's happening to her. But he can't get out. He's stuck in there, and the tide comes in, and eventually it drowns him. Not quite yet.
Yeah.
So we cut to Richard driving back up to his beach house, and he's got this whole nice setup. And he's got a bunch of TV monitors. And he turns it on, and he's got the camera of...
he's able to watch both of them.
Right. And he's loving it. He's a lover scorn, so he's loving this redemption for him. And then Harry yells into the camera because he can see the camera.
Yeah, looks right into the camera.
And he says, "I'm going to get you."
Yeah.
So The next morning, we see Richard down at the beach, and he finds the body is gone. Richard's body, or Harry's body's
TV's
gone.
there, the
You're
cable's there, but no body.
Yeah, and he says Current pulled him out.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That had to been
Current pulled him away. So the next night, we cut to that night, and we see a shot of the beach, and there's footprints on the beach. So we see Richard in his house watching TV, and then he hears a voice. Somebody whispers, Richard.
Yeah.
So, and then we see some shadows outside his windows behind, like, the curtains. So Richard is he goes and takes a shower, and while he's in there, we see the front doors open, and 2 water-soaked figures with seaweed and stuff clinging on them walk in. But it's interesting, though, we keep seeing flash into his bank of computer monitors of his security system, and you don't see them on there. There's like a fog coming in, but you never see them on the thing. And then we see the bodies coming up the stairs. He opens up the doors, and he finds zombie Richard and zombie Harry and Becky have come for him. So they're just like gurgling water out of their lungs, and they look like a ruined mess.
Yeah, they're saying, we want you to come down to the beach.
Come with us.
Some weird voice, like gurgling, watery, drowned voice. It's really good.
He's got a little pistol, so he starts shooting them, and he shoots, I think he shoots Becky square in the forehead.
Yeah.
Doesn't phase him.
Black liquid
Can't do
just
nothing.
rolls out.
Yeah. So he runs to the bathroom, and he locks himself in there, and he's kind of standing there listening, and then he turns around, and they're waiting for him in the bathroom behind him, and they say, how long can you hold your breath?
They just keep saying, if you can hold your breath, if you can hold your... It's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then in the last scene, we cut to him. Richard is now buried up to his neck on the beach, and the tide is coming in.
Yeah.
And as it fades out, he says, I can hold my breath for a long time. Because he's kind of gone crazy. But that is the end of that one.
So that was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah. All right, so now we flip a couple pages. We're down to the final 2 segments of the movie. The next one is called The Crate. We see a janitor working in a college university, and he's flipping a coin, and he drops it, and it rolls under this metal grating underneath a staircase. And he goes to try to fish it out of there, and he finds this old crate inside, and it's got some print on the side. It says it's like from an Arctic expedition, and it's very old. So now we cut to a little garden party thing, and we meet Henry and Wilma. Wilma is her name, but call me Billy. Everybody does. And Billy's a lot. That's what I wrote in my notes.
Gosh.
She is a loudmouth, brash lady.
What did I write? I wrote something on here. Oh, I put loudmouth, obnoxious bitch.
That's Billy, and Billy is played by Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes, and she's awesome. In this role,
she is so annoying. Yeah. And we also meet Professor Stanley, who works at the college. So Professor Stanley gets a call. So we see Professor Stanley and Henry are buddies. They're friends, and Professor gets a call from the janitor about the crate. Tells him that it says 1834 is the date. So Professor Stanley is intrigued by this. So he leaves the party to go check it out. And when he leaves, we cut to Henry, and a couple times this happened. He daydreams about killing Billy.
Yeah, she's so obnoxious.
She's just berating him all the time.
Oh.
And in this little daydream, at the little dinner, the garden party, he pulls out a gun and shoots her, and everybody starts applauding because he did it.
Then he wakes up from his dream,
and she's just ripping his ass some more. So we cut to the college, and Professor Stanley and the janitor are removing the grating so they can get to the crate. Again, it says Arctic Expedition on it, so it's heavy. It takes them both to drag it out, and they carry it to the classroom. And then the janitor thinks he heard something move in there when they set it down. And then we cut back to Billy and Henry again. He has another daydream. This time he chokes her with his tie. Because he's expecting Professor to come back and play chess with him, because they had a plan to hang out and play some chess. Apparently they do that. So we're back to the college, and Professor and the janitor, they pry open the crate, pull out the nails, and they hear this chirping noise inside, and then they see some eyeballs in there, and the janitor sticks his arm in. I don't know why you do that.
I don't know either.
That's a stretch. He sticks his arm in there, and this monster inside pulls him in and eats him, like this big, crazy-looking thing.
Yeah, we get a real quick look at it.
Yeah.
Just its head, too.
Right.
And it's got teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so long and big and so
You know
many
what it
of them.
reminded me of? You may not have had one, but you probably remember it. In the 80s, there was a thing called My Pet Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
It was like a stuffed animal monster thing.
Yeah.
It was goofy. It kind of looks like that a little bit. Less colorful, but like that.
Yeah. Looks like a Yeti, too, with a lot of teeth.
Yeah. Big mouth with a lot of teeth. Professor runs away, and he runs into a student in the hallway.
Yeah.
And while he's talking to him, we see the monster scoots the crate around. Like, he's still in it, but he's scooting it around.
Yeah, puts it back to the stairs.
So Professor is hysterical, trying to explain that there's a monster in there. So the student goes in, and he sees all this blood, and he thinks the professor killed Charlie. Reasonably so. But especially because the crate's gone, because it moved.
Yeah.
And there's a blood trail that goes back to where it was under the staircase. So the student's checking it out, but he goes to look in the crate, but the monster is out of the crate, and it attacks him under the stairs. And so he gets killed and eaten too, and then we cut straight to the professor showing up at Henry's house in a panic. So he's freaking out.
He's bad.
Tells Henry what happened. Billy is gone out for the night, so she's not home. So he tells Henry what has happened here, and we don't understand right away, but Henry is quickly concocting a plan here. So we see him drug the professor. He breaks open a pill and puts it in their drink.
Yeah.
And Professor passes out. So then, and then we see Henry writing a note for Billy, and and then he leaves and he drives to the college. And he finds the crate, and then he starts cleaning up all the blood.
Yeah, tons of blood.
Yeah,
It's everywhere.
that was a big job.
Yeah.
Starts cleaning everything up. So then we see Billy get home, and she finds the note, and the note tells her that he needs her to come to the college because Professor Stanley has been seeing grad students, and he assaulted one of them at the college, basically.
Yeah, she's up
they tease that a little bit at the party because he's flirting with this young college girl.
Yep.
He's an older gentleman, but he likes the younger ladies. So, and Billy loves it. She's jacked up for this kind of drama.
She just wants everybody to need her.
Yes, yeah, she's very much, because she talks about that with Henry all the time, like, what would you do without me, kind of thing.
Now she's really jacked up.
And she loves drama.
Now her husband and his college professor friend need her help.
Yeah, so she is excited to go.
Yeah. The girl, the college girl, he tells her that she's hid herself into the little space, and won't come out.
Right.
And she's pretty upset.
Right. So she goes to the college and she meets Henry there, and he, like you said, he tells her about the girl that she's put herself on the stairs, and Billy's like, what did he do to her? Like, she's loving it. And he's like, it's best if you just go see for yourself. So we can see what's happening here. He's trying to feed her to this monster that he's been told about. And he's like, I know you can get her out. So she goes over and looks in there, and she's like, I don't see anything. And he shoves her in there and yells for the monster to take her, but nothing happens. He's like shoving her.
And she starts fucking yelling at him, Henry, what are you doing?
Right. This is just great. Yeah, like, because he's shoving her and banging her into the crate, and it's like the monster's not there. So Henry is just like so crestfallen.
Yeah.
It's like, son of a bitch.
His plan didn't work.
Yeah. And then she starts going off on him some more, and then all of a sudden the monster jumps out of the box and pulls her in and eats her.
Finally.
So we see Henry chain up the crate again, and he loads it into his car. He drives it to like this quarry or something, and throws it into the water, and it sinks to the bottom. And then the next morning, now we're back at his house. The professor has woken up from his drugged sleep, and they agree. He tells him what he did, basically.
Tells him everything.
He's like, so what are we going to do? And they agree to not tell anyone, and then they play chess. And So
Yeah.
the professor's worried about it getting out, though, because he's seen this
Yeah.
monster. He's worried. And he mentions that, and then we see a scene of the crate busting open in the water.
And then the eyes.
Yeah, and that's the end of the segment.
It was good.
Yep, another good one. All right, so now we are down to the final one, segment number 5. It's called They're Creeping Up on You. All right. In They're Creeping Up on You, we meet Mr. Pratt.
Upson Pratt.
Upson Pratt. He is a big to-do, and he lives... It almost looks like some sort of like science lab or something, but apparently it's just a penthouse apartment.
Germ proof.
Yeah, and we see him immediately. It opens with him killing a cockroach.
Yeah.
And he says that he owns this building and there won't be any damn bugs in it. So we learn quickly that he is a germaphobe.
Yeah.
Very worried about cleanliness and bugs and germs. We learn he's he's a stock market guy. He's got like stock stuff scrolling on screens. So he gets a call from one of his workers.
Puberty again.
I know. He gets a call from one of his worker guys, and he's calling to tell him that his company had bought another company, and the previous owner of that company has killed himself. But Mr. Pratt is pretty happy about this. He has no sympathy at all. While he's on the phone, a roach crawls up his leg and onto his hand. When he's got this spray he keeps using to kill them all. And then he's got a little air shoot thing. Like, whether it's the bug or like the tissue he picks them up with, he pushes the button and it's an air
Reminds you of
like a
like
vacuum.
the bathroom in an airplane.
Yes.
It sucks it into that little room.
Very similar
when you
tech.
hit the flush button.
Yep. So then the guy's trying to tell him, like, I don't know if there's an effect on the market, like, because we keep cutting to like screens of the pricing, but I could never really make out.
I never paid.
I don't know if
I think it's doing well.
Okay.
Like he's making out well,
right? But
Mr. Pratt's making out real well, because this guy died.
Yeah. So he basically tells his assistant or whatever, like, I can't talk right now. I got this bug problem. So he hangs up, and then that guy's wife calls him to just let him have it. Like, you killed my husband, you son of a bitch, kind of thing. But he loves it. Like, there's a scene where she's just going off and he's playing a violin. Like, he's got no sympathy. Total dick.
Yeah.
And then and then he, at the very end, he's like, one thing I did want to ask, how did you get my personal number? And she's like, it was in my husband's address book, you son of a bitch. And he's like, well, I can't fire him, can I? Such an asshole.
Yeah, that's how big of an asshole he is.
Yeah. So he keeps seeing these roaches popping up in his apartment, and he calls the building manager, or he puts in a note or a message to have the building manager call him, and it's like 10 o'clock at night here. And we learn the building manager's on vacation at Disney World. But he calls him, and he tells him that he's got an hour to get the exterminator there or he's fired.
Yeah.
And then we see him eating a bowl of, looks like cereal or something, but it's something he blended up. But then he finds a cockroach in the blended food that he's eating, so he goes and dumps out the flakes, and there's roaches all over it, and they run out. It's gross. So then the front desk guy comes to the door and starts talking to him, and he's a total dick to him. It's a black dude, and he's saying racial shit that's not cool. But the guy tells him he might be able to have exterminators there by 11:30. Now we get to a scene where roaches just erupt from everywhere, and the power goes out. So he's panicking, running around, and he's got like a sealed, like a safe room almost. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be his bedroom or what, but it's got like an airlock sealed door on it. He goes in there, and the phone rings again, and he picks it up, and it's that guy's wife again, and she says, "I hope you die."
Yeah.
And then more roaches. He pulls back the blanket. There's like a little cot thing, and he pulls back the blanket, and roaches are just everywhere underneath it. And they swarm him. And then power comes back on, and we see the jukebox starts playing again. And the desk guy's knocking at the door again because he was stuck in the elevator when the power went out. But Mr. Pratt's not answering. and he's a fun little line because this guy, the front desk guy's funny because he knows that Pratt's a dick and he's just messing with him. But he says, "What's the matter, Mr. Pratt? Bugs got your tongue?"
Yeah.
And the bugs. And then we cut to Pratt. He's laying but you don't see any bugs anywhere.
No.
But then bugs just explode out of him. Like
Yeah.
they start coming out of his mouth,
and
and
his chest explodes.
Yeah, and then it's just bugs blowing out of him everywhere.
It's good.
That's the
Tom
end.
Savini special effects throughout this whole movie,
Yep.
including this scene.
And that is the end of that segment. So now we are down to the final, just the wraparound finish. So the ending segment. It's the next morning, and we see the trash guys rolling up, and one of them is Tom Savini, special effects legend, and they find the Creepshow comic in the trash can, so they're looking at the ads, and they see one for a voodoo doll, but somebody already sent in for it.
Yeah.
And then we see inside the house, and it's breakfast time with the asshole dad, and he's complaining about having a stiff neck. And then we see the kid, Joe Hill, upstairs with the voodoo doll that he had sent in for, that he has cursed his dad with, and he starts stabbing the voodoo doll in the neck, and you see the dad choking to death, feeling it, and and that's the end. It shifts to animation. You see the Creepshow creep laughing again, and
good laugh.
Yep, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah,
so that's it. That is Creepshow from 1982. Well, we're gonna stick to our guns and stop spoiling our reviews right after we talk about the movie. We're gonna go ahead and shift to our review and opinion of Creepshow from 1982.
Now that we've seen what there is to see, how many never not horror howls will be given?
Since this was my pick, I will go first. So after we give our ratings, I think we're going to do we might rank the 5 segments.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. But just as a whole, as the movie, like I said, I have a lot of nostalgia for this. I'm a huge fan of EC Comics. There's a bunch of collectible versions of the old EC Comics, but there's ones called the EC Archives, I think EC Archives. They're like oversized paperbacks. They look beautiful. I have a ton of them in my house. I'm a huge fan. I love, obviously, George Romero is one of my all-time favorite directors. Dawn of the Dead is my all-time favorite movie. I love Stephen King. It's my favorite author. So this is just a perfect storm of the inspiration and the creators. I love it. There are absolutely segments that I like more than others, which we'll talk about when we rank our segments here after we give our ratings. But just a fun movie, man. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's goofy, shock value, twist horror that was made famous with Tales from the Crypt and EC Comics. It's a fun watch, man. I like the cameos. I love the art with the transitions from the comic book too. That stuff is so well done. It looks so cool. We talked about earlier. There's 2 sequels, which the third one allegedly is terrible, so I haven't bothered to watch it. But there's also, should have talked about this in the background info, but they launched a Creepshow series a few years ago.
I've watched
almost
all of it.
I've seen all of it. And it's hit or miss. It's very Tales from the Crypt-ish. So you get a couple stories with each episode. Some are really good, some are okay.
Yeah.
But it has a legacy to it. It's very cool. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. So for me, I am gonna give Creepshow from 1982 4 howls.
All right.
4 howls.
All right, for me, I think with the time that I've taken notes and rewatched this several times, I think this is the funnest rewatch and note taking I've had so far in the podcast. I really enjoyed myself watching this. It's very, very nostalgic for me. And each story is so original and so different from the last that it's just fresh. Every episode it feels fresh. Again, the nostalgic feel from me watching the Laserdisc when I was 9 years old. And like you, I love the comic book aspect of it, where they go in and out of cartoon to real life. Man, just fun, and even the wraparound is great. As little as it is, it's not a huge wraparound, but it's fun, and there's an ending to it, so that makes it nice. Where where the dad has the abusive dad gets his
his comeuppance.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to do the rankings for each segment, but for me, that your 4.0 is exactly what I gave it. I would put it slightly ahead of Halloween and Hellraiser.
Yeah.
But not to Dracula or...
Sure.
But yeah, I love it.
Fun.
I give it a 4, which is my third highest rating.
Yeah. Very good movie. All right, we are in agreement. So we're both overall giving it a 4. So what are you looking at for segment ranking? Like, how do you want to? Do you want to give a what? Let's just start from the top. What's your favorite segment?
My favorite segment is Father's Day. The first segment.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I love it. I love the Bedelia character, and I love the whole lore that she supposedly killed him, and then we see it. Oh, I love it. I think that was my funnest one, is Father's Day.
All right. My favorite segment is Something to Tide You Over.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the being buried in sand and drowning, that's so terrible.
That is bad.
But just Ted Danson and Leslie Nielsen make that segment so good. And then it having Galen Ross from Dawn of the Dead in it is just cherry on top. So
yeah, that is actually my second favorite.
Okay, all right.
I have that as number 2.
All right. My number 2... So we didn't plan this. I'm making this up on the fly. Well, you might have had yours.
I have mine
written out. I'm making it up on the fly. But Something to Tide You Over is for sure number 1. Number 2 is going to be Jordy Verrill, I think, is my number 2. Stephen King's so goofy and fun in that.
Yeah,
it's just such a good time. So many good one-liners. B-A-D. I love it. So Jordy Verrill's number 2.
Yeah. So 3, my third favorite one was the slow death of Jody Verrill.
Yeah.
So that was your number 2 is my number 3.
Right. My number 3 is going to be Father's Day. Okay. So we're in agreement on the top 3, which means we're in agreement on the bottom 2.
Yeah.
See if we put them in the same order.
My number 4, not last, but number 4 is The Crate.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement through the end here. I like it, but I like the others more. And then my least favorite is they're creeping up on you.
That was
the roach ones.
Easily my least favorite.
And I think it's partly it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, there's some weird stuff, because there's a couple times where he'll smash a roach and he's got these white gloves on, and then he'll look at his hand and there's nothing there. So I wonder, is he imagining the roaches, which they kind of hint at?
Yeah.
Because the desk guy is kind of, he got bugs again.
Yeah. I did read that Romero and King, if they couldn't do that one, because they was up in the air whether they could pull that one off. I think it was because the
effects are really
stuff,
good. Yeah, the bugs look great,
and the high tech equipment that's supposed to be in it, and they wasn't sure if they could do it, so they had in the can was the Hitchhiker, which actually came
makes
out
it to
Creepshow
part 2.
2.
Right? Yeah, we'll do Creepshow 2 one day.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is a knock on it is I think this movie is a little bit too long.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a full 2-hour movie. So by the time you get to the fifth story, you're kind of over it.
Yeah,
so
that might be. If that was,
I
the
think
first
that
one.
affected me too. Like, if that was earlier in the movie, maybe I wouldn't be so harsh on it. But after The Crate, you're 4 stories in. It's like, I'm ready. And then that one's not that great. So
the ending is good, where the bugs come out of his mouth and his chest.
The effects are really good. Like, I don't dislike it.
But leading up to it, it's pretty boring. It talks about stock market.
Yeah,
and,
it's definitely the weakest one. Like, I don't hate it or anything, but I don't love it.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, so we were basically Father's Day number 1.
Maybe it's because I have Nathaniel Grantham's action figure here, the old man that comes back to life.
check out Richie's channel. Watch out so this one's in the box, so it hasn't been unboxed.
This one
yet.
has not been unboxed yet. I will do it this Halloween season though.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we are agreed at 4 howls and pretty similar on our segment rankings. So good movie. If you want to support the show, please spread the word. This show has gotten more downloads than I expected it would, so things are going really well. Keep telling people about it. If you know somebody that likes horror movies, tell them about Never Not Horror.
Yeah, please.
I was at a concert a couple weeks ago, and I was telling people in the parking lot about it.
Yeah.
I might have had a few beers that helped me tell people about it, but but I was showing people on their phones on the iPad app or on the Apple Podcast app. So tell your friends if you're into horror movies. Like, rate, review, do what you do with the show. It helps. Whatever podcast platform you're using, go on there and rate the show. Give us 5 stars if you're into it.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us outside of the show, youtube.com, search for Rich Hansel. You'll find his channel. Lots of cool action figure unboxing stuff. Recent episode where he unboxed an Ozzy Osbourne figure that I gifted him, which was convenient timing since Ozzy passed away. I am a huge Ozzy fan. I'm a guitar player.
Yeah.
Ozzy has brought us some of the best guitar players of all time, so that was a big one. So, yeah, check out Richie's channel. If you want to check out my books, go to steveclarkbooks.com. You can get signed copies from my shop there. You can go to Amazon, get them there, find out anything you want to know, and come back and see us next time where whatever it is, it's never not horror.
Oh, yeah.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.